Okay, we back. It's recording. Welcome back to your casual Sunday, the Rising Phoenix, our beautiful team of people who are ready to rise the vibe and excited for 2027. So today we're going to take a look at the transits. And, as I say, the whole month of April, I really would love to focus on projectors so we can talk a little bit more on projector during those four Sunday that we're gonna have together. I just remind you when you go into the topic section or right in front here, it was here, but topic section, the human design audio self-study, be sure you follow that so you get all the time the notification. And I just put here and the full course of projectors. Tom, were you there when this was recording? Did you do the projector empowerment with Ra?
He says early in this class, I listened to it yesterday. I wanted to hear it. I wanted to see if it was what I recorded. He refers to what I recorded in Vienna. Okay, this is some course afterwards, and the second half of the course is basically him doing charts and stuff like that. And there was some kind of blips in the audio. I should make available to you what I recorded in Wien. This was a room full of nothing but projectors. Okay,
Ooh,
I couldn't even be in the room. I had to be out of the room, and there was there was no generator energy in the room. And the definitive information came out, and of course I did a professional grade recording. So I'll send that to you, and you can add that to this because it is the course in Wien was exquisite.
Nice.
And I like the course, this one too. This was quite a bit later.
Yeah.
This was pretty much later.
Okay.
He referred early in the course, early in that recording, he refers to the last time I did this course, there was nothing but projectors in the room. You had to be a projector to be in the room. I even sent Tom out of the room because he's a generator. He didn't want any sacrums in the room.
Interesting. Because I think at the beginning he's talking about something like this. He's like, oh, in the room there's only projectors. Yeah, he's referring to that.
He's referring to that class in Wien.
Yeah. I'm going to take the time, like I already listened 2 times the whole series, but for the whole month of April, I really want to take the time to focus on listening again those audios on projectors so we can really talk about the projectors and guide them a little bit better. That's my focus that I would love to do for April, so we can take a look at the transits and then we can talk about projectors. We have one here, Laurie. I think she's a projector, right? So Laurie, I really invite you at any time if you have questions, observation, or comments. If you struggle speaking in English, just speak in French, and I translate. And yeah, that's gonna be your show for a month. It's gonna be projectors. We really want to give them a voice. We want to give them, invitation, space for them to thrive and to be able to guide us.
We have a projector for conditioning today. The collective conditioning is a projector.
Exactly. Well, let's take a look on our transit and let's see what we have. So as you guys can see, the sun just moved into hexagram 51. So we're entering into the shock, into the gate of shock, but this is the right angle cross of penetration. Today it's a first line. First line are really good to do some study, to set the foundation, to investigate. First line can be very deeply insecure and paranoid. Remember, the first line always give the tone for the hexagram. They always give the tone for the rest of all the line during the hexagram. That's why when we look at hexagram 51, the first line is setting the tone. We have reference, the advantage of previous crisis experience. And here we don't have any exaltation. It's only detriment, which is a tendency to emotional wide growth after shock. The weakness of the ego in times of challenge. All right. So, well, Tom, please, if you feel responding to this transit and you want to say something, please go for it. Because I'm feeling that I don't have so much to say. I'm just waiting to respond to something.
mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can give you a thing or two to respond to. It's very interesting to look at the collective conditioning here. It is a projector, okay? It is a first line. And the shock, that was Ra. Ra was a shocking messenger. He said, in order to get anybody to listen to design whatsoever, the first thing you have to do is punch them in the face, to break up where they think they are, where they think they're supposed to be, what they believe already, get rid of those beliefs so that they can actually find out who they really are. So it's an intriguing thing. And we bear in mind that the new order comes from the shock. It's interesting that this transit just shifted a half hour before we started. We were in 2148 on the left angle cross of Endeavor. And then just before we started the class, here we are on the cross of penetration with the shock. Okay. It's also interesting to note, thank you for having that up. I so appreciate your being able to put these things up. And when I say things, you follow it. It's such a wonderful thing, service, Ben. So you look at the 51, here's the shock. What's going to come after the 51? Right after the 51, we have the 42. So we're being shocked into completing a cycle. And look what happens after we complete the cycle. These beginnings and these ends and beginnings are all over the wheel. We have the three, difficulty at the beginning. This is the new files. Interesting that this comes in right at the end of Aries and the beginning of Taurus. Aries is the ram, okay? Boom, okay? And then Taurus, what am I going to care about? The new files as opposed to the old files. You'll see that evolutionary kind of energy all the time in the wheel. It's in every quarter. This is where it's at in this quarter and the beginning of the quarter of civilization. So yeah, there's pressure coming from, we have also, we are now, I believe, in the most mystical of all activations. One of the things, let's see, let me grab my thing up here where I can see it real quick. Okay. Yeah, the moon, that's what I thought. The moon right now is in the 54-4, enlightenment and darkenment. This is where you make the decision. Do you want to go to the new files or the old files? Do you want to go to the enlightenment or would you like to just stay on the sinking ship? I mean, this message is coming through quite a bit now and will continue to do so. The situation is because of the chaos, the shock, the chaos that we're all in, we're sitting still. We're paying attention. We have no choice. I mean, there's lockdown. What are you doing in the park, Ocean? There's all this lockdown where we have to sit with ourselves and pay attention. Okay. So when these new files come in, we'll be paying attention instead of distracting ourselves as we usually are. It's interesting to note that just a half hour ago, we spoke about this yesterday. We had not only the mystical process in the 5125 going on, we had the material process going on. Notice the shift when the shock came. It's shocking us out of the material. We no longer have the channel of materialism to make us manifestors. Now we're projectors. This is very, very, how should we say, predicting of where we're going. And the manifestors, Ocean, don't take any offense to this. The manifestors are to go to pasture and relax. And the projectors are to be woken up and come be the guides. Because when this world goes from upside down to right side up, most of the people on it are going to be walking on their hands with their feet in the air. And those of us that are aware of this are going to have our feet on the ground. So what are all these people going to be looking for? Guidance. It's projector time. It's projector time. Manifestors can go relax a little bit now, go back to the farm, enjoy the scenery. And projectors now are being called to their true function. This is why it's projector month. Well done, Ben. So, okay, so we are looking, when we look at this, I'm going to be general about this because I want to go somewhere else for a moment, something we haven't done yet. Okay, when we're looking at this, we're looking at the collective conditioning. If you want to make it personal, you do the composite with the just now, you do to your design. And you look and see where it changes things in your design. What centers do you get from the conditioning that you don't normally have? What electromags do you have? What channels do you have? And then you go to the I Ching and read the lines. You know, you either have the books or you have the program where you can read the lines, and you'll get extremely specific information about what the effect the channel is having on you. When we're doing this in a classroom setting, we're always talking about the collective, and it's valuable and it's beautiful. And yet at the same time, if you want it to be very personal, something that you can actually experience, and if you go read the language in the I Ching for these specific things that are changing things in your chart, okay, you'll see how you're being conditioned by the program as opposed to anything else. These are things to pay attention to, okay? If you get an entire channel, like right now, I don't have anything in this channel of initiation. Right now, I have the whole thing. So I'm having a life force channel brought into my world right now about initiation. Why am I talking about initiation? Because that's what's going on. Because I'm a 6-2. Because I'm a migrator. I'm always moving to the next step. We're moving towards a step of consciousness. So I'm just giving you a mechanism whereby you can take the collective information that we offer here every day. Then you can go get the just now to your chart, the composite of the day, the transit of the day, how it affects you. Read those things specifically. If you get a whole channel, that's a whole life force that's coming into you. It's not you, but it's a conditioning element. If you get an electromag, again, you're having a life force channel presented to you. Okay. Lots of things to look at here. I'm just wanting you to see that there's a mechanism where you can take the general information and make it extremely specific. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just take a throw your transit on Ben, and we'll discuss Ben for a moment. Now look at Ben. All of a sudden, he's an emotional manifester, something that is not who he normally is. And get the joke. He's in a relationship with a woman who's emotional right now. Isn't that interesting? You're going to see this stuff over and over again. So what did we get? And he has a throat. It's funny. He's got a throat and he doesn't have much to say until I give him something to respond to. But he usually doesn't have a throat and he has to speak, which is pressure on him, but he does so damn well with it. It's incredible how he can adapt to that, okay? And it's not that he can't speak. The throat center is where he can be incredibly wise, which it's about expression and manifestation. Okay, having nothing in the throat, how does that work very beneficially for Ben? Instead of being a competitor, he's a cooperator. He can be incredibly wise in his expression. He doesn't have a fixed way of expressing things. Right now, he's expressing progress through materialism. Those are the two voices in his throat right now. The potential for progress, okay, because that's what this is, the human experiential way around what material is, because of the 45 sitting there, which is the expression of the tribe, which is all about possession.
Yeah, totally. I'm very glad you brought that all up, like how the transit can really affect us, because it's true. We usually talk about very collective transit, but we don't usually mention how, as an individual, the transit can really affect us, and that's good that you say, because when we put the just now chart and our chart, this is where we can see the compromise channel, the dominance, the educational one, the personal connection that we have with the transit, so the electromagnetic, how it really helps us to see how the transit every day is really impacting us, how it is moving us, how we can take an advantage on the transit. How funny that this week, so that when we were into the hexagram 21, so when the channel of materialism was here, everyone came to me to talk about finance, and I was very, very excited sharing about finance and how we can get our resources and how we can be more wealthy and all those kind of things. So transit is really impacting us all the time, really moving us all around, and again it goes back to staying in observation, paying attention, being vigilant, and not being caught up into this race of trying to make things happen, to do things, to achieve something. There's really nothing to prove or nothing to achieve here. Mostly being aware. That's what it is. It's really being aware. That's what Ra said all the time. The point here is to be aware, to be a passenger consciousness, to be aware. And when we look at the transit, we may gonna have a week that will shock us. Shocked us from what? From the mundane, so we can return to the innocence. That's the channel 5125, channel of initiation. So we're gonna have a week that may initiate us to something new, initiate us to shock us from the old so we can go to something new. As Tom say, what is coming after the 51? Hexagram 42. Hexagram 42 is increase, the gate of growth. So we are looking for growth. And what's the harmonic gate? Gate of the beginning, development. So we really are looking for new ways of doing things. It's really new ways. It's not repeating the same shit that we have been doing for so long. No, it's really new ways. I mean, it's so funny how everyone wants, to learn new stuff and to everyone into this spiritual realm or personal development or whatever the case is, but no one is really open for a new way of living. They all want to keep doing the same shit. They all want to focus on money and power. They all want to focus on who has the most followers on Instagram, who is the most influencer, or whatever the case is. But no one is really looking at a new way of living. Well, I'll tell you what, boys and girls, there's no more time to, continue the distraction. So now we're really going into this initiation, and look at Pluto, or truth, or transformation, accepting the old way. Otherwise, it's going to keep limitation on us. If we don't accept, and hexagram 60, this is the old way, the old files. So accepting that the old is going away, and when the old is going away, we can transcend the limitation. The acceptance of limitation is the first step in transcendence. I mean, I couldn't say it better. What's the first line? Acceptance. How amazing is that, right? Yeah.
Beautiful, Ben. That's what if there's patience and time for it. Okay, look, all I have to do is give you a little bit to stimulate and listen to the wisdom that comes through. Okay, and you do the same for me. And this is the way life is going to work. Instead of being a competition, we're going to stimulate and provoke one another into something. Now, something to recognize: we lost the so-called channel of materialism, where it's nothing but concern for the finances. But notice we still have the 54-4. Okay, that's the fuel for the whole material process. But it's not just the fuel for the material process, it's the fuel for transformation. Okay, transformation is transmitted to the tribe. Ben has the channel, the 4426. That's the surrender. What do you have to surrender? The ego of how things are to maybe how they could be. That's why it's called surrender. And if you can surrender the ego of how it's been, all this power that we think we have, go to the 14th hexagram, 6th line, you'll see what power really is. It's all spiritual in nature, whereas everybody thinks power is about what they have, who they can boss around, blah, blah, blah. No real power there. So the 54-4, the most mystical of all things, the fuel for the mystical process is in the material process. So the material process hasn't gone away. Like Ben just said it. He said it as well as it can be said. And right after he said it, he said, you can't say it any better than that. It's about finding a new way to do the old process. Relationships are not going away. Marriage is not going away. Some kind of exchange is not going away. The values of all those things are being elevated to another level. Okay. And instead of having a special relationship, we want to have a holy relationship. Instead of exploiting the hell out of people to make our money, we want to support one another to make our money. Instead of it being a competition, we make it a cooperation. We're the only species on this planet that is so competitive. No other species run around killing members of its own species all that often. It's a very rare thing that happens. Whereas amongst us, the most dangerous thing to us is another one of us. That's why we're transforming. so that we can learn how to be something other than these little killer monkeys. Actually be human, actually feel what we're doing and decide whether we want to do that or not based upon how it feels.
And that's really the transit. That's amazing what you say, because if we look at the transit right now, what do we have? We have this pressure coming out of the root for transformation here, the gate 54, but transforming what? The old way we have been doing things about what? Our tribe, being sensitive of our tribe, our needs, our principles, with the channel 1949, which is the channel of a synthesize, a design of being sensitive. Sensitive of what? How it feels. We just have the fuel, it's here, and we have the will from the ego to initiate us, to shock us, to initiate us to go back to innocence, gate 25, innocence, a return to the innocence. So whoever right now on this plane, on the planet, who can pay a little bit attention, who is receptive and passive, because that's what we are anyway by nature, passive and receptive. So if you're not caught up in your mind, in the mind strip, you will receive the neutrinos. You will receive the message from the universe. You will receive this collective consciousness field of neutrinos that we are living in, and they're going to penetrate you, and they're going to activate something in you. They're going to shift your cells, and you're going to wake up to the truth. And no need to listen anymore to Swamsis, Warmark Burgmi in India, who is usually, a Damon something, an American who moved away, and wants to be a guru. It's human design is the truth. Human design is your teacher. Tom and I are not your teacher. We are not here to tell you what to do and how to do things. We're just paying attention on what's going on. And we are having so much fun every Sunday with the Rising Phoenix and all of you guys who are paying attention to what's going on. And right now, all of us have this amazing fuel and pressure for transformation, transforming the old way, being sensitive to the way we have been doing things, mutating with grace, how we do things, being sensitive on how it feels. We want to feel good. We have the gate 57. This is how we implement, this is how we ground this energy with gentleness, with, penetrating gently the shock and the return to the innocence. This is amazing. Transit is so beautiful, right? Right.
Ben,
Yeah.
no, go ahead. Complete your thought, and then I got something to throw at you.
I'm good. I'm
Okay.
complete.
Okay. This is hilarious. If we go, and we might choose to do this, to go through and read each one of these things, because you're going to see a recurring theme going on. Okay. Okay. So we got the 22, this gate of grace attached to all this pressure. Look at what it says. Directness, the disregard of form when required. It is time to transform. If we're graceful, we are disregarding form because it is required. We need to find another way of being. This stuff just comes out of us all the time. Half of what Ben said right out of the transits. He may or may not even be aware of that. When I woke up this morning, I said, well, I want to read all the transits. I said, oh my God, this just validates what we say all the time. We're leaving one place, going to another. Okay. We're still going to be us, but we're going to be a transformation of what we used to be. History, the way it used to be, not the way it's going to be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's incredible. The power inherent in higher principles to successfully transgress behavioral codes. We're going to find other values to attenuate what we have valued so much. We think that we've turned our monetary system, our currency, into our God. It does not make a good God. Okay. If there's a such thing as a God, it's not that damn limited. Okay. Some people get it and some people don't.
And
winners, losers.
Was it really No, the question, was it really out of the, the 4037? That's the incarnation cross that we are right now. So the background frequencies since 1615 that is ending in 2027. So that's what you were referring to, right? It's like
Exactly.
the 37, a need for God, have been putting so much, how do you say, like so much credit into the 40 to deliver the promises. But unfortunately, the 40, which is the elites of people that are controlling this planet, control, haven't really delivered any promises to the tribe.
Yeah. All the 40s up to the fifth line. The sixth line's aloof to all that stuff. I'm a 46, and I know what control produces. Control produces homogenization. Okay. If you allow everyone to find their own way based upon more higher principles, then we all improve. And what does the old power group want to do? They want to hold on to the power. They don't understand what power is. Go to the 14th hexagram, sixth line, you'll read what power actually is. We're the only species on this planet that has to pay to live here.
Yeah.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Totally. I wanted to make this analogy, and let me know how you feel about that. And you guys, feel free at any time if you want to mute yourself, share, ask questions, comments. This is a very casual Zoom. It's all the members in the hub. For those of you who are watching the recording, and I guess I'm gonna put this one today on YouTube, so also people outside of the hub can have the chance maybe once a month to see what's going on here in the hub, so they can join us. But the analogy would be something like, especially when you said it is changing, it's constantly changing, we're constantly moving towards something new. And the analogy, or even what human design is, that as a passenger consciousness, we are sitting here in this vehicle, and we used to say the vehicle is traveling at the speed of light in the universe. So every second we are penetrating, we are moving in the universe, we are penetrating stars, billions of stars and neutrinos, and we are just, and all of that we're doing it backward, because we're going backward in the universe. So my analogy here will be, when we are driving on the freeway, and let's say we're driving from LA to Chicago, or something like that. Well, the view that we're going to have, it's not going to be the same. The background's not going to be the same. When we in LA, we're going to see the city, and then we're going to go out in Joshua Tree, and we're going to see the desert, and then we're going to Arizona, and we're seeing a different background all the time. But the vehicle is still the same. The vehicle. So the analogy is that from the moment we're born, we have this vehicle. The passenger was called in the vehicle. So the passenger is sitting here observing life, observing the journey. The passenger knows that we will arrive at destination at some point, and our vehicle is taking us on a journey, and we're driving, and we're seeing the movie of our life. We're seeing all those different things happening in our lives. And the more we resist to what we see, the more we resist to the changement, to where we are going, the more we're having pain and suffering and insecurities and fear. And out of fear, we're taking stupid decisions that leads us, to killing one another, or to hurting one another, and to also a lot of frustration and anger. So the analogy is really, well, when you drive, when you drive from A to B, you are not trying to change the background. You are not saying, oh, it's raining, I don't like the rain, I want to go back to the sun. So you're not trying to change the rain. You're not trying to change, oh, I don't like the forest, I want to see the sea again. So we're not trying to do that. When we're driving from A to B, we just enjoy watching the background. We get really amazed, excited with seeing the trees at some point, and seeing the nature, and then we seeing something else. So it's kind of the same with our life. We just seeing a different background all the time, and we're just here to surrender and to enjoy this journey. What do you think about this analogy, Tom?
Energy is precisely the word. This is not a class. This is a study group. Enough of these generators talking for a bit. I would like to invite a projector to say whatever she wants to say. Her reaction to this, whether she feels recognized by any of this, whether she feels lost by this, whatever it is. And, what I know about Europeans, they're also concerned about their English. You speak English just as well as most of us do, okay? So don't be concerned about it. Just stick your neck out and say something. And the manifester, once again, no sacrum, okay? Because it's projector month, all right? No sacrum. So I really invite and inform for the manifester to have something to say and for the projector to have something to say. And we're going to be quiet until you say something. It's a study group. Okay, I'm muting myself.
Yes, okay. So I would like to share with you maybe my day about the 21 and the 51, because I spent my day with my family, and my mother shared with us the old movie of my childhood. So it was very funny to see myself, and it was like a little shock, little initiation to see myself, to see this little girl and say, oh, this is me, and I feel so different right now. So yeah, it was a good day to see and to go back to the innocence.
How are you feeling generally being a projector? What how would you describe being a projector? How does it feel? I know all those questions can be very silly, because when we ask a projector to talk about them, they're like, what? I don't know how to talk about me. But yeah, please.
Yes. As a child, I experiment that recognition all the time, because when I was a child, people always see me and always came to me. And when I have had 5-6 years, I was friend with everybody. Everybody came to me. Everybody see me. Everybody, and it was really, really nice to me to feel that, to feel seen. And then I lost this light with the age, and now I go back to this to feel. When I discover human design 1 year ago, it's like I remember this feeling to be seen, and from and how it feels. It's like yeah, I always wait something. You know, when you are in class, people always tell me, why are you didn't talk, answer, respond? No, I just wait that someone invite me to speak, and I really be in this position to wait that people came to me, and I experiment that people came to me one by one, always one by one, and it's a real pleasure to have this one-one confrontation. I love that, and yes, I feel in group that it's too much for me. I would like to even more 5-6 people. It's too much for me, and I disappear. And yeah, I always feel this feeling to want to be seen, and this question, is everybody's gonna see me or notice me? I always have this question when I go around, and arrive in the maybe in my dance class, or is everybody's gonna tell me hey, and I really feel sometimes I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lori,
Yeah.
your English is beautiful. More than your English being beautiful, your perception is beautiful. You spoke about returning to the innocence. That's exactly what we're all trying to do, all of us. You spoke about movies of you when you were a child and innocent, and how everybody would naturally come to you. That's because they were not conditioned. Very often, Ra says, when I first look at a person's chart, I see the child. I see the innocence of what's there. That's the definition, the type, the authority. And then I see how they're pulled away from that, from the conditioning. It's not the conditioning can only negative. It's not only negative. It can be very positive as well, because it's where you can become incredibly wise. But as a child, your wisdom is already there. So you just kind of waited for somebody to come to you. And those people that come to you and you feel recognized by are the right people. One of the first things Ra says in the class that I just listened to it yesterday, Ben, the thing you put up yesterday, he said projectors are one-on-one people. They really need to be one-on-one people most of the time. Groups of people make them nervous, okay? Make them whatever. It's just too much energy to take in. But one-on-one. So when people come to you, the fact that most people ignore you, it's a blessing in disguise. But the ones that actually see you as being different and come up to you and say, there's something different going on here. What do you know that I might benefit from knowing? Oh, that's when what comes out of you, your energy rises. What you just had to say, Lori, was absolutely profound. That's why I said, we got to invite the projector to speak. It isn't going to matter what you say. If you're invited to say it, what's going to come out of you is going to be rather beautiful. And we want you to embody this experience. Okay?
Wait.
I so enjoyed what you had to say.
Yeah, wait. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Respire. Prends une grande inspiration, Laurie. Yeah. Good. Voilà, respire. Ah, voilà. Ah, good. Good. Just let it go out. We give you a space. Take your time.
We hold the space for you. Out of respect. What you just offered was so beautiful and so profound. Beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing, Tom. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Ah, you are seen here. You really are seen. And oh, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opportunity. I really hope everyone in the hub gonna watch this transit report, because what we have here with Laurie, it's amazing. I mean, we are under the cross of penetration. Tom, I've been like penetrating her. He was kind of choking a little bit and penetrating her, and she has been penetrated by everything that we have been shared, and there is a shock, there is a recognition in the projectors, and she feels recognized. She feels she feels good here. She feels safe, and there's this return to innocence, and that's why you say, look at Mercury. Communication and thinking, the way you have been communicating, sensibility. You sharing your sensibility of returning to innocence. You tired of being, trying to be a generator, tired of being conditioned. What's the line say? The power of the spirit to withstand failure and shock. Okay. But the recognition that innocent action does not in itself guarantee success. Okay. But what else? Third line, mostly just sensibility. Being sensitive. I mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. How does it feel, Laurie?
Better.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cry a lot this past week, and I'm tired to cry and to cry and to cry.
Oh, no. You know, crying is beautiful. You are purging.
Yeah.
You're purging. You're going through the deconditioning. You know, my first couple of years, I was crying every day. And I was like, why am I crying? What the hell is wrong with me? Why am I crying? I didn't even know why I was crying. I was crying for no reason. You know, I was like, what the hell? And I remember my friend Sia, who was a projector, and I wish he could be here. He lives in Bali, so you know it's like 15 hours difference. But you know, he was like, oh, don't worry, it's just your heart. Your heart is opening. There's no reason for crying. It's okay, you know. And I was like, oh, and I was crying. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to make that feeling detriment, give it a reason. There's no reason. It's an awareness that's operating. Okay. I've said to Ben, I said, Ben, you have such a beautiful heart. You know, over and over again, I say to Ben, you have such a beautiful heart. This is why Ben and I work well together. We both have hearts, and we have hearts that are open. And that's where we're going. I cry at beauty. I cry at the drop of a pin. Okay. And I cry like a man can cry. Okay. It's beautiful. You know, if you don't take a physical dump every day, you'll explode. If you don't take a psychological and emotional dump every day, you're going to explode. You gotta let go of it. Okay. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It does. And there's no reason for it. Is there a reason you go to the bathroom? Yeah, there's a reason you go to the bathroom, so you don't explode. Same thing with emotional. Okay. Like, wow, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Some of that's nutritional and some of it belongs in the sewer. Let go of it. That's and what the crying is, you know.
Look at that. We just the transit just shifted. Hexagram 25, we went into the 4th line.
Oh, so beautiful. The rose in the garbage dump.
Yeah, survival. Yeah. The nature of true innocence can be maintained regardless of circumstances. And you guys in Europe were already in this energy.
Exactly.
You know, the spiritual warrior, the innocence maintained regardless of circumstances. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
It's only exalted. There's no detriment to that line.
No detriment. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the beauty of the rose in the garbage dump. That's what most of them are.
Yeah, and I want to say about, you know, I really want to say that about projectors. You know, that they are really beautiful in the middle of the garbage dump.
That's it.
I mean, that's going to be a projector month, and you know, guys, you need to understand. Your mind will drive you crazy. Your mind will say, am I being seen? Are they going to see me? Am I being noticed? But no one is seeing me. I better initiate something. I better say something. I better do something. You know, this deep, deep anxiety, fear that no one see you, that no one recognized you. So you guys are constantly running around trying to get attention, trying to be seen, and you exhaust yourself. You burn out, you exhaust yourself with your open sacral, not knowing when enough is enough, trying to do way too much so you can finally be seen, so you can finally get the recognition that you want, that you know you deserve, but you just exhaust yourself doing that. Right?
Can I? Hello.
Yes, Ocean, you want to say something?
Yeah, I've realized these past few weeks and months that I'm actually surrounded by projectors, and I've learned to love them a bit more as I understand them. And there is something about the projector. I've told something to a projector friend, and she found it useful. So I just want to share it. Because sometimes she would invite me and go to me, and it would annoy me because I didn't initiate, you know, especially as a manifestor. And one day I just told her, listen, like, you're kind of like Yoda in a cave, you know, like Yoda in Star Wars. And sometimes people go to you because they need your wisdom, and Luke Skywalker needs you, and it's like one time and then it goes away. And I was like, but people don't need that all the time, or they don't want it all the time. And I was like, when you try to come to me all the time, I feel like I'm I'm in Star Wars all the time, and I'm like, sometimes I just want to, you know, go with my life. And because sometimes projectors energy is really like, it's so intense. I'm so sensitive to it. Like I can, when they just want, like they just code to me, and and it's good. Like sometimes I feel awesome after talking to just one good projector, and then it feels like 10 sessions of like going to a shrink. I never go to a shrink, but sometimes I'm like, oh my God, that was better, you know? And yeah, where they are aligned and they are good and they like they master something, it's really, I can see how it's important to them to like master one system, one thing, and then they're really good. And but yeah, I've kind of played around it, not played in a sneaky way, but in a innocent way, you know, like just awareness. So yeah,
it's a very
like,
good point. I mean, the point is really good that projectors do have a penetrating aura.
yeah.
And if they come and they are not invited, they really penetrate us in a way that we feel raped. We feel like, hey, whoa, wait a second, I didn't ask for that. No?
Yeah, I don't know why I've attracted like 2 projectors with a cross of penetration, and sometimes they would like just shock me, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't ask for that. But maybe deep down I asked for it, you know. I don't know what's going on with me right now. Anyway, but yeah, and with those special projectors, or like people with this cross, like this of penetration, whatever, it's like I can sense how like they like to like shock and like go deep and be intense with you. But when you try to like go with them and like try to understand them and go really deep with them, they don't want to. It's like, it's just one way. It's like, it's not fair. But yeah, like it just unblocks so much. Like I realized this past 2 months, like with those projectors, it just unlocked so much within myself as well. And I'm like, okay, and I've told them too as well, okay, you're not a sacral being, like you need to like rest, recharge, like just go easy on yourself. And like I've really tried to recognize projectors more and say, you're like a lighthouse, you're like a light, and you just need to take it easy. And yeah, that's actually good. But it's kind of like a love-hate relationship, you know, because I'm the always the king and queen's manifestor, like I'm gonna inform you, do this, do that. And projectors are very like gentle and sweet, and they don't talk unless you ask them to. And I'm always like la 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 la, like, you know. And so I don't know, we attract each other because we're so different. But I'm learning to like give more space to the projectors. So it's just so interesting. Even at work, like there is one girl, I'm sure she's a projector, and she said, do you want to hang out this weekend? And I was like, man, like no, it's gonna have to be me. I can see the mechanics now, like the auras and everything. I can see if it's a generator or a projector straight away. Like it's so weird, but I love it because it's just so easier, you know. So, anyway, I'm done. Thank you. But I love the projectors. Like I'm learning more and more about them. So yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was really nice to listen. It was nice to listen to Laurie. It's so like, yeah, it's so cool.
Nice. All right, thank you. Well, I feel complete. I feel complete for today. I feel it was a good little transit and chatting all together. Laurie, I would like to invite you maybe one more time if you have anything you would like to share on how you feel. And
oh yes, my best friend is a manifestor. So,
interesting.
yeah, I can connect with her. It takes time, but we have a great connection together. And about the other manifestor, I feel how it push, push away. So no, not now. I'm not ready. I don't invite you, and I feel that also. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, yes, Tom, you wanna end the class saying something? Because I'm good. I'm not gonna talk anymore. So yeah, please.
My closing salvo. We are referred to as human beings, not human doings.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to have to let go of so much of the doing that is really just busyness, okay? Busy, not accomplishing anything, and become human beings. And it has been manifestors that were responsible for keeping us alive. Thank you very much. There's a lot of us little bastards and bitches running around right now. It's not about survival anymore, okay? It's about thriving, actually becoming human beings that are awake and aware of what they are truly about. And it is not a competition, it is a cooperation. It is not about how much you got done or how much you possess. It's about how you feel at the end of the day. That's why we're going into this emotional awareness. Okay, so quite beautiful thing to see here, that the manifestors can gracefully calm down now, and the projectors can be called out to guide now, and all of this energy with guidance going to be paradise on this earth. If we just learn how to be human beings instead of human doings. Okay, we are referred to as beings. Maybe it's time to get into the being and relax on all the doing. So that's my closing statement. And this has just been a fabulous group of people here. Okay, and it's because everyone in this group of people got a voice. Okay, it's just so beautiful for us to learn to cooperate, coexist with one another, rather than compete with one another all the time. There's no battle to win. There's peace to experience. So 3 cheers for the projectors. 3 cheers for the manifestors for keeping us alive long enough to become awake and aware. Thank you very much. We appreciate your service, but you can relax now. And it's nice that projectors and manifestors, you got a doer, extreme doer in a manifestor, you got an extreme waiter in a projector, but they have a similarity. No sacrum. It's quite interesting, okay? They really had a role in guiding us up to this point, and the manifestor can say, okay, there's plenty of us, we've survived, good enough. And this manifestor can go home to the farm and sit around and watch the projectors go to work to guide all these little monkeys into becoming actual human beings. It's beautiful. There's for everybody. Everybody has a function or we wouldn't be here. But manifestors, you know, okay, generators, if they start talking with they're nothing to respond to, they're just talking. It's like farting. It's just the release of air from different ends of the body. So what? If you give us something to respond to, what we have to say may be meaningful. See? Right now, we all need guidance. Guidance into the world that is coming and letting go of the world that has been. And you'll see that there's room for everyone here. Nobody's going away. If you didn't have a purpose, believe me, you wouldn't be here. Okay, so at any rate, it's been tremendous fun, and it's been lovely to have shared this. I guarantee you, I'm greatly relieved to hear the voice of a manifestor that is relatively calm, of a projector that is coming to discover her real purpose in life, and we generators can calm the fuck down and do things that are meaningful rather than just doing. Generators acting like manifestors are causing a lot of trouble. So at any rate, this was a great group. I wish there had been 400 people instead of 4, but we marry 4. We did good today. Thank you for your contributions.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you very much. I think that was the end of our class for today. I'm going to stop the recording, and I wish you a beautiful rest of the day, and I see you next week. Navigate into the hub, ask questions. I'm going to upload more things, more quote from Ra, And yeah, we keep going like this. We having, oh yes, pour so in French, pour Océane et Laurie, Laurie, je crois que toi tu l'as fait, mais je donne un cours Vivre son design en français. Donc si ça vous intéresse, on commence le 22 avril. Donc voilà, Océane, si ça t'intéresse de suivre le cours de design, on commence en avril. All right, I think that's it.
Ouais, moi, en effet, je l'ai déjà suivi, ouais.
Ok, cool. Ouais, bah, si tu veux venir et répéter de nouveau, tu peux te joindre à nous, quoi. Voilà.
French is such a beautiful language. I love listening to it. I wish I could speak it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much to all of you. I'll stop the recording. Bye for now. And